Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, osia dem yopo.
You are most welcome to PENDREAM TV, the only channel that brings you the best and latest updates in politics. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more updates. Like and also share to other members to watch as well. You can also leave a comment after watching or channel your view through our WhatsApp number, which is 0277128777. Thank you. Solomon Owusu, a member of the Movement for Change, has also come out with a powerful analysis and a shocking revelation as well about how the MPP duped or borrowed money from the SSNIT and tried to hide it by sacking their boss, and also exposing Bediatua of some money he took from the board without letting anyone know. That much I do. I would like you to join me listening to what he said into detail and how the panels digest it as well. Thank you.
18th May 2024. The discussion partly covered SSNIT's strategic decision to divest 60% of its stake in the 6 hotels in its investment portfolio. The management of SSNIT wishes to comment as follows. The trust is seeking to partner a strategic investor to raise capital to invest in the hotels and to assist in their management. 2. The primary objective of finding a strategic investor is to increase efficiency, profitability, shareholder value, and the long-term sustainability of the SSNIT pension scheme. 3. Accordingly, SSNIT went through international competitive tendering ICT processes as prescribed by Public Procurement Act 2003 at 663 as amended by Act 914 for the selection of a strategic investor. 4. The trust commenced the process with the engagement of a transaction advisor through the ICT method of procurement with publication of advertisements in the Daily Graphic on 14th of November 2018 and in the Ghanaian Times 15th November 2018. The advertisement was also published in an international magazine, The Economist, in its January 5 November 2019 edition. 5. As of January 16, 2019 deadline, 15 firms had expressed interest in submitting bids. Of these, 6 were shortlisted, and of these 6 were shortlisted and issued with requests for proposal. Approval was sought from the Central Tender Review Committee for the selection of a transaction advisor on 12 December 2019, and that was granted on 24 December 2019. Following the selection of the independent transaction advisor to guide the selection of a strategic investor amongst others, further advertisements for an expression of interest for a strategic partner for SSNIT hotels were placed in the Daily Graphic on 3rd February 2022 and in the Ghanaian Times on 7th February 2022. The advertisement was also published in the Economist magazine on 26th of February 2022. So now let's limit the discussion, the first part of the discussion, to point 7. There's some confusion which is becoming clearer to me, and I want to understand, because I do know that pursuant to the Public Procurement Act, so amended, right, for any tendering process there must be a certain rules of engagement which must be complied with, failure of which would mean that you are violating the law. Now, on the basis of that, a certain, so if you read point 4, right, a certain transaction advisor was through the ICT method of procurement, was engaged. So that's the first transaction advisor. So following from that, there was a publication on the 14th of February 2018, and a subsequent publication in Ghanaian Times on the 15th of November 2018, right? So this was upon the advice of the transaction advisor. So now bear that in mind. Then it comes back again to say that 7. Following the selection of the independent transaction advisor to guide the selection of a strategic investor. So I don't know whether there were separate transaction advisors who were appointed within those periods. Because in 2018, a certain transaction advisor was appointed, although we don't know the transaction advisor, and we have to know. Now, the second transaction advisor was also appointed, and following from that, this was in 2022. So 2018, something happened separately. Then in 2022, a certain transaction advisor was also appointed, and the same publication happened. The same international publication also happened. So there's some confusion there which ought to be cleared. I do not understand why, and that's why I want us to limit the first part of the conversation to here. Now, I'm starting with Honorable Alex Ebrefia, because you see, the allegation which has been made by Honorable Samuel Bediatua Blackwell is not in respect of who really the purchaser is. It's in respect of whether or not indeed it has become imperative for us to sell those state, hotels to an individual company such as Rock City, even though it is clear that some of these hotels are making profits. In fact, Labadi Beach Hotel is making profits over 10 billion or so. So what is really the reason for selling it? And if you read the first paragraph, it says that the trust is seeking to partner a strategic investor to raise capital to invest in the hotels and to assist in their management. 2, the primary objective of finding a strategic investor is to increase efficiency, profitability, shareholder value, etc. So now they know what the problem is. So you know what the problem is, but you think that you do not have the wherewithal to solve those problems, and you are looking for a strategic investor to come and invest and then solve your problems for you. Honorable, it's quite confusing to me. Secondly, from where you said, do you think that the people who actually pay their pensions were consulted before this decision was reached? Because ultimately, it is their money.
You see, if it walks like a duck, swims like a duck, quacks like a duck, more likely than not, it is a duck. Why am I saying so? What interests me is the conflict of interest issue as well. Because Rock City, I think the main basis for their, and I stand to be corrected, is the hotel that has been put up in Ko. And there are question marks on that issue as well. But based on that, they are seen as a big-time hotelier.
Yeah, so Honorable, I want us to look at the first part of the conversation. This is important. So this rather will come to the second part. And I want us to go through the processes.
Well, you see, the point you are trying to make is a strategic investor, a tender process was gone through by an independent assessor. Were there 2 independent assessors, one in 2018 and one in 2020?
Okay, point.
And for me, either way you look at it, the point is that Rock City was in the game from day one. And for some reason, Rock City is the one that seems to have won the bid. So even if you use the 2018 strategic assessor or the independent assessor, and also the 2020, who we are also told is independent, the important thing is we need to get the names. And I'm being careful how I'm speaking because the matter has now gone to Shiraj. So technically, it's a matter before, it's not a court process. So as a lawyer, I'm gagged up to a point.
We're not passing judgment. We're just looking at the facts. Because you see, Honorable, with the greatest of respect and in appreciating the facts, it is important to also posit this whole transaction within the proper framework of events as they have unfolded. Now, even if you look at when Rock City was constructed, construction actually began on the property 11 years ago. The first phase was opened in November 2019. 2019.
Yeah. 5 years ago.
So when they even opened the tendering process, the hotel was not completed.
No.
Now, have they been able to also publish
but that's the
their
question as to whether they are a strategic
yes,
investor.
investors, yes.
You see, because one of the criteria of the strategic investor would be a certain experience in that field. Apart from the money. Money is one, and you must have some expertise. Because if you don't have expertise in the area, are you now going to purchase the expertise or bring people on board who have that expertise? So if, when in 2018, you didn't even have that hotel as your flagship basis to show you had expertise? On what basis are you now, what's it called, saying that you can't be a strategic investor? And I'm not looking at the money aspect, because at the end of the day, it's not like you have your personal money or you're coming with it. That is not what I'm hearing. So I think that the whole thing, and as I said, I'm just being careful. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is spot on. We need answers. And the thing has gone to Shiraj. And you've hit the nail on the head. I'm not going too much in your first part, but the second part, which is, why are you selling something that is already profitable? We have a lot of state institutions that need help, that many governments have sold to private investors to get them off their feet. This is not the case with what you have. You have state assets which on their own are making a good amount of money. So if you need somebody to even come and be a consultant or come and tweak what you have, that's different from saying, I'm selling it off. Those questions are not being answered yet. Why was it necessary? Why would you do it? Because these are assets which are now have become profitable. And the kind of people who visit Ghana now, they are all hoteling is big business. If you have it in the right place and you're able to create a certain standard, your hotel will be patronized. That's at different levels of the spectrum. So when you look at the hotels that are mentioned, we know the hotels. And the figures that are on the hotels do not show them to be hotels that are losing. We are not also being told whether there has to be a 5-10 million investment into the hotel and they cannot find that money and therefore they have put out this tender. They are saying for efficiency. Hello? That's as wide as the gates of heaven for those who are blessed. So for me, there are many questions that have not been answered. But Samuel Okudzeto is spot on asking the questions. One, he's an MP. That is not to say that he cannot have business. But is he the sole proprietor, the sole owner of the company, or the sole shareholder of the company? And therefore, Parliament will have to look at and see whether there is really some conflict of interest, because this is a state asset. So that will have to be looked into. Then you have the situation of how is it being funded? And we know that SSNIT money is involved. SSNIT is necessarily not in a very good way. So why are they funding this very colossal amount of money into this venture? And it then goes back to the first question, why is it that they are even selling in the first place? Because governments, institutions are notorious for not making profit. The ones that are making profit, you want to sell. Why are you doing that? Government needs money. So whatever amount of money that's coming, you put some down for refurbishment, you put some down for the continuous running and improvement of your hotel or product. And then you can also have some coming from taxes and things that will go into government revenue. So exactly why is this being done in this particular industry? And why did they mention 6 and we are now being told it's 4? All these are questions that have been put out. I think that the response from SSNIT is incomplete. I think it doesn't answer major questions. They should have given us the names of the independent assessors or the private or independent people doing the assessment. And it will be interesting to also for Shiraj to, if it's within their mandate, to have a chat with the other competitors who actually put in a bid as to why, or look at the paperwork to see why their bid was not good as against. There's also an issue of the amount of money being paid in cedis and not foreign exchange. And yet, even though I like the format that, look, we are in Ghana, everybody should use cedis, then let's do it across board. You understand? Because with the way the exchange rate is playing, somebody can make a windfall just by putting a city figure down. When we have, as a country, invested dollars of a certain amount in it, and if you are going to use a rate to pay of 2018 or 2020, it's totally different from what the rate is today. Yeah. So how is that transaction put? It may be in cedis, but is it related to an exchange rate according to the dollar? Because much as it is a good example of us doing something in cedis, playing in cedis, are you buying the stuff that you need and stuff in cedis? And what is the exchange rate that is being used? Because straight away, overnight, if he's good at it, he can even pay back the money. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. He can take the money, do some quick business, and then pay back, and then all of a sudden, he's looking good.
True.
So please, the questions are legitimate. I don't want to go into too much. I'm just not convinced that Brana Champong is coming or is seen as an independent person, especially since he's deep in government. And as a result of him being deep in government, the thing has a smell, as I was saying. It has a certain flavor. And this is where I have sometimes a problem with private individuals, you know, private individuals getting involved who are politically inclined people to do certain things. So that's my position.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I'm coming to you, Solo, but again, my confusion stems from their own letter, and we are scrutinizing their own letter, because in that letter, in the conclusion aspect of the letter, they pointed to the fact that yes, they heard on Metro TV that the matter is with Shroud, and therefore they are not going to comment further, right? So it's okay. So we are limiting the conversation on their own letter, on their own letter. So, but if my confusion and apologies if I do not understand, because I want to understand. I'm a layperson. I don't understand it. I want to understand it. If you read paragraph 4, and so you have the document. So read paragraph 4. Okay. The trust commenced the process with the engagement of a transaction advisor, which is boldened there, through the ICT. So the ICT is International Competitive Tendering. Okay. Method of procurement with publication of advertisement in Daily Graphic on 14th of November 2018 and in Ghanaian Times of 15th November 2018. The advertisement was also published in an international magazine, The Economist, in its January 5/11 2019 edition. What was the purpose of the advertisement?
It was to solicit
proposals, correct? Good. So bear that in mind. Now 5. As of January 16th 2019 deadline, okay, 15 firms had expressed interest in submitting bids. Of these, 6 were shortlisted and issued with request for proposal. So are they saying that as of January 16, 2019,
yes, that's what they are saying.
They had already shortlisted about 6 companies and had requested for them to bring their proposals, correct?
Yes.
Now, in January 20, around that time, January 16th, 2019, yes, there was no Rock City, because Rock City started operation. In fact, the second phase was completed in November 2019. So,
wait, be careful how you say that.
No. It's
Rock City as a company. When did it exist?
No. Well,
because it's a company. Yeah. Don't mix up when the building was up.
No.
I'm just trying to find out when the company was formed.
Yes, but let me even grant it that the company was formed in 2018.
Yes.
Right? So you're looking at a 1-year span. Yeah. For the purposes of saying that they are a strategic partner.
That's why I said they smell.
Exactly.
I agree with you on that.
But
don't equate. Don't say that they didn't exist.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these companies were formed when MPP came into government. So and they are new companies. All of a sudden, they are doing big business.
That's the point. It's like SML. Exactly. No, so I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you. But I want us to scrutinize this, because the question then becomes, in the 2019 shortlisting that the SSNIT did,
yes,
was Rock City part of it? No. The reason being, and I'll explain why. Now, if you move to 7, so there were 2 separate publications which had happened, because the first transaction advisor was appointed for the purposes
So your
of...
point is
yes.
this, that when they started in
Why didn't they conclude an agreement
when
then?
they started in 2018,
In the 2018.
Yes.
by 2019,
Yes.
15 companies had actually decided
yes.
interest.
Yes.
They themselves shortlisted the 16
Fantastic.
without bids.
Yes.
6 of them going.
Fantastic.
Of that 6,
Fantastic.
was Rock City part.
That's the question I'm asking. That's the first
And then
question.
you say in 2020.
So now let me move to 7. Okay, let me move to 7. So they say that the point 6 says approval was sought from the Central Tender Committee for the selection of a transaction advisor on 12 December 2019, and that was granted. Why? Because
there had been a
transaction advisor appointed for the purposes of that
in
already.
November 2018.
So why did they now appoint a new transaction advisor for what? That's the question. Now, if you move to 7, because this is a prelude to 7. Now, the 7 says that following the selection of the independent transaction advisor to guide the selection of a strategic investor, amongst others, further advertisement for an expression of interest for strategic partner for the SSNIT hotels were placed in the Daily Graphic. The same process again, which was done in 2016,
So
right?
was the first one cancelled?
That is the question you and I have to answer, especially for the Gov't.
Yes.
And that is why I'm saying that maybe I'm a lay person.
No,
but-
you are spot on.
So by reading this one, I am confused, Solo.
Yes.
Because now they say that now the strategic partner for SSNIT hotels were placed in Daily Graphic on the 3rd of February 2022, and in the Ghanaian Times on 7th February 2022. The advertisements were published in the Economist magazine. The same process again. Now they say that a total of 9 companies responded. The first was 15, shortlisted to 6. Now, a total of 9 companies responded to the advertisement by submitting proposals on the 23rd of March, which was our birthday.
Yes.
All right, 2022.
24.
Now, deadline, 6 out of the 9 were then shortlisted and issued with request for proposal. The same process again, right? Now, the qualifying firms were invited for the opening of their financial proposals. Based on the technical and financial evaluation, the Rock City Hotel, that's what it's not called, the hotel, emerged the best. So the question then becomes, the first 6 which were shortlisted in 2019 was Rock City Hotel part of it. And that's why I was making reference to when the hotel actually started operation. And the second phase of the hotel was in November 2019. So there is no way in hell that Rock City Hotel was part of the first 6 which were shortlisted for the purposes of providing this same service to Rock City.
This is where I want you to be careful with the language. Rock City Hotel may not have been in existence as a structure. It may be that the company existed.
No, Honorable, I'm just reading their letter.
Yeah, but their letter hasn't said that Rock City.
It's
You
mentioned.
said there's no way in hell. You said I'm just
No.
that Rock City.
With the grace of respect,
Yes.
I am making reference to their letter.
Yes,
And in that letter, they mentioned Rock City Hotel. They didn't say Rock City Company. Please, do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, I
Exactly.
see what
Because
you are
they
saying.
now
Okay.
said, they now said, and let me read it respectfully. He said that,
It's semantics.
and this is
Okay,
point
look,
9.
I hear you.
This is point 9. The qualifying firms, you see, firms, company, firms, a company, right? Firms were invited for the opening of their financial proposals.
Yes.
Based on the technical and financial evaluation, the Rock City Hotel
But he says it's a
emerged.
firm.
Yeah, Rock City Hotel, but well, it's the hotel.
But what I'm saying is that
The hotel is the firm.
yes,
and
you are saying that they were not part of the first,
Yes.
and that's what we are all arguing.
Yes.
And I'm saying that this ambiguity in their letter is what is creating issues.
Yes.
And that's why I'm saying that it is right that Sami has raised the point.
Yeah.
Because they are, from what you are reading, it's fair to come to the conclusion that when the first bid was done in 2018, Rock City was not part of it.
Absolutely.
Somebody can come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Then, in order to get the person in, they stopped the whole process.
Exactly.
They started a new process in 2022 and opened again new transaction advisor.
Thank you very
everything.
much.
And then in that one,
Yes.
Rock City becomes part.
Fantastic.
And then Rock City, that's why I'm saying now when it walks like a duck.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. So let me
you
come to you.
understand?
Because
So and I'm best being very careful because all these things have to be clarified. Then we go to town.
absolutely.
You understand where I'm coming from?
let me
Because and that's why I'm saying that Sami was right. These things are not adding up. So come out, and even their response is still making the thing murkier.
Yes.
So come out. And it's not good enough to say that if you responded to this level, it's not good enough to say that we are in court or Shira has no. Give us the facts. As of facts, they are facts. So give us the facts clearly, and then go and argue the substance of those facts in court.
That's all.
But at least if you started, you also just have written a letter that due to the fact in Shira we cannot respond at this stage. But you've given us some because you know that people are going to take you to court. So either you are not giving the facts, or you are giving.
Absolutely.
But don't give us things that are going to make the water murkier.
Absolutely. So let me come to you on this whole subject matter.
I mean, you have, as it were, dissected the issue and given pointers as to the areas that Shraj must be looking at. I am not even comfortable with Shraj. This has to be a public inquiry, a parliamentary probe. SSNIT money is for pensioners, is to take care of pensioners. So when we go and reduce it to Shraj, the matter becomes, at the end of the day, lost in the ocean. And then, especially in this year that is an election year, you will see that you will forget about it. Rock City, I have tried to, like Honorable is, I understand where Honorable is also coming from. That is there any company in existence called Rock City Hotel before 2018 that probably partnered with the Rock City Ghana and so had the muscle to, as it were, put in a tender or put in a bid to become strategic partners of SSNIT. See, to be able to understand this whole thing, you must go back to the Ejapadi deal, that Ejapa book. And that would allay all your fears, answer your questions, deal with the issue of why SSNIT would first of all decide to settle on Rock City. And mind you, Rock City, when you say Rock City, a child born today even knows of Brian Champon as being part of it. Is that not the case? Yes. Now, Brian Champon is a minister of state, or is a minister of agric, a leading member of the New Patriotic currently. And so, ordinarily, would he have been chosen as a partner, or his company has been chosen as a partner, if he was in opposition or not in government or not an influential person in this administration? The answer is what Shraj must go into. Again, the current Senate boss, I mean, all these things are coming. You must link this to why the former Director General of Senate was removed from office. It is alleged, and here it remains allegation, that one of the reasons that Dr. Tinkran was removed from office was the fact that government had borrowed so much from Senate, and this administration wanted him to write it off. And so he said, having been trained in the US, it was just unconscionable for him to do so. I asked this question this morning. I asked the president, Mr. President, whether or not it's true that you have borrowed so much from SSNIT and you wanted the man to write it off, which he refused, and for which reason you removed him from office. Secondly, it is alleged that the government through Ashante Bediatua submitted 500 names to the former Director General of SSNIT to employ as workers or staff of SSNIT, which he refused. That he couldn't understand or see the need or the rationale behind one person submitting 500 names to be employed when SSNIT is supposed to be for all Ghanaians. Was it the reason why he was removed? This one we need answers. Thirdly, it is alleged that Koko, who is Bediatua's sister, had reached retiring age, that she wanted her stay in SSNIT to be extended, which the man refused. Was it also part of the reason Director General was removed? Now I come back and read the Japadi and link all this, and for you to understand why we are where we are. So when you read the Japadi book, And a bank like EcoBank, they have to be very careful. And one of the things that this country must prepare itself for is to have sharpened investigators beyond 2025. Because everyday corruption, everyday thievery. So how do we deal with this? You will need sharpened and committed investigators going forward. When you read the Japadia document under EcoBank, listen to what they have written. We have two routes of entry into this institution. First is through SSNIT. Take note of that, which has a seat on the board of EcoBank Ghana by virtue of its shareholding. That seat is occupied by the Director General of SSNIT. In phase 2 of our agenda, they are done with phase 1. Phase 2 of our agenda, Kofi Bosompim or Safumaf, that's of Safumafu's son, who is a Deputy Director General of SSNIT, should be made the DJ to give him the seat on the EcoBank board. Who is now the current Director General of SSNIT? So they have removed Tenkrai. Now, there is minutes, and I'll produce a minute too. A meeting between SSNIT and Rock City when they were negotiating on this transaction. Go and check who was leading the SSNIT team. It was Kofi Bosompem Osafumafu. He decided to settle on all these figures. Like I said, this is a matter before Shraj. But hey, we can also not deceive ourselves that matters are before Shraj, so the truth, we don't know the truth.
Facts can be dealt with.
Absolutely. This smells. In 2018, like you were saying, I have Googled, I have checked everywhere. I'm yet to see Rock City anywhere. In fact, what they say, any Rock City hotel you make mention of, they link you to Ghana.
Yeah,
now, if it is the case that Rock City Hotel was in existence even in 1990, SSNIT is saying they have decided to offload these hotels to Rock City because of their managerial competence. What sort of hotel? What had they done in the sector to have necessitated the hotel being given to them? They said they were looking for strategic partner because they didn't have money. Hey, SSNIT every month you are deducting money from workers. You don't have money, but Rock City will have. What are we talking about?
No, they should publish how much they are making in revenue.
No, we are even coming there. Yeah. You see, the point is that SSNIT is sitting on money. So the issue cannot be that SSNIT does not have money to refurbish the hotels to get the much needed revenue. Look, if you read some of the minutes, some of the hotels have 90% occupancy rate.
Yeah.
Yes.
It means these hotels are not hotels that are making losses. Yeah. They are making profit. So on what basis would you give it to Rock City? If it is not for chop, if it is not to link it to the Japadia story that I'm telling you.
To have control even in opposition.
To have control, to control us so that kingdom come. That their forebears will grow up and come and tell our children that our fathers fought for this country. They were smart when your parents were thieves. Because I couldn't steal much. No, it's not
why the introduction of SML? Why the introduction of PDS? Why the introduction of GVG? All the most important and lucrative sectors of the economy, they want to get a hold of it. Collapsing banks here and there so that your bank will be the #1 bank. You see, eventually, somebody had even mentioned, even though it's not, that even Bank of Ghana, they wanted to now,
But the people have strategy for every sector of this economy. They had one for the electricity or the power sector.
Power sector.
They had one for banking sector.
Communications.
They managed to collapse a lot of banks so that all of us will be poor. And they have succeeded in eroding or removing the middle class. And we are here talking about this.
We are joking with it as if it's nothing. It's a big deal.
The president will not make any statement about this, but he would rather find time to forward petition against OSP and so on. Today, I'm sending my petition this morning. Let me put them on notice. And I believe the president, and I hope he acts on it. You get my point? So, Kwame, this SSNIT thing, don't take it that SSNIT wants to do a good business. And they have found a strategic partner. Labadi Beach Hotel Who will run about La Palm Beach or whatever and run at a loss? Such a strategic hotel. In any case, it's not telling us that when they were taking that investment decision to put up La Palm, there wasn't any feasibility studies on it. So they just put up hotel without having managerial skill so that it will just incur loss and sell it. Is that what they are telling us? Rock City, it smells. And we must not. I can assure you that I agree with you that your intuition is the same intuition I'm having. That as of 2018 November, when they did the publication or solicited for firms to bid, it will be likely that Rock City's name was. It has happened in this country before. I've forgotten that transaction at the Ministry of Finance. When firms bid, they tendered in their bid. The black also, I will get to that transaction. Finally, the firm that won it had not taken part in the tender.
Oh, but PDS, what are you talking about? There's PDS, there's SML. So there's enough evidence, circumstantial evidence to rely on.
So SSNIT has written beautiful nonsense to us this morning. So look, it's chop chop.
Yeah,
it's all about chop chop.
Thank you. But I mean, let me put this out. Let me put this out. In the interest of justice and in the interest of educating and informing the people of this country, we are directing that the SSNIT publishes the transaction advisors, the first transaction advisor and the second transaction advisor. We want to know who the transaction advisors
are. You have even reminded me. I nearly forgot that my firm pays SSNIT and they have been chasing me with calls. Hey, I demand it. Look, it makes it even serious.
Yeah, we want to know.
So what time they bring you someone, come to court. You have to squeeze the money through your nose. This is what you have been doing with our investment. The boss of SSNIT must immediately, as a matter of urgency, make whatever findings they have got to public. I even forgot myself that I'm an interested person in SSNIT matters. That I do contribution. Now, this is what you are doing. And these issues are coming out because a certain Kofi Bosompimo Safu Mafu, who has been captured in the Japanian book as the one who is going to do the bidding of this administration, has taken over as the Director General. Now the President must also do as the greatest honor by telling us why he removed Dr. Tinkrine. We must know. And Dr. Tinkrine too must speak. This business of when things of this nature happens, you go and sit in your house and you call us behind the scenes, they did it, I don't like it. Dr. Tinkrine, speak. You are not a child. You are not Mumu. You are not Mumu. Speak. You know the truth. You know what they have done. If you claim to love this country, why are you sitting on the bad things that people have done to SSNIT? Including sale of assets. Giving it out cheap. Cheap. What is 6 million, 7 million Ghana cedis?
Charlie, it's terrible. Anyway, you're still watching the News Review segment here on Pan African Television, and this is where we say it as it is. We don't mince words, we don't embellish things, we don't sugarcoat words just so we please people. We are not paid by anybody, so we have to speak the truth. We have to defend the will of the people of Ghana. My personal question, I want to know the transaction advisors in 2018 and the transaction advisors in 2022. What commission, what percentage are they getting from this transaction? It is important because we are in this country where every international transaction by way of loans that the country procures, there's an independent transaction advisor, okay, a company belonging to the former finance minister, which earns a percentage of whatever it is that we generate by way of loans and revenue. So I want to know the transaction advisors in 2018 and why those transaction advisors were asked to stop work for a new transaction advisor to be introduced. Which one is the new one? We want to know. And SSNIT, you owe us that duty because we all pay SSNIT. We pay. So we demand that you let us know why you changed and which one is the new one.
Small one. And one of the things that I've been advocating that, when they want people to bid, they advertise.
Yeah.
Why is it that after the bid process or the tender process,
they don't publish
for us to know that company, these were their technical proposal, their financial proposal. So the entire country, if you want to stop corruption, if you strongly believe that you want to stop corruption, We must know all this.
All right. Prof, let me come to you.
Yeah, Kwame.
Yes, sir.
Solo is on cloud 9.
Of course.
And
I just going to say that the butterfly has wings of an eagle.
I tell you,
Small time, court. Straight.
These are not butterfly wings.
and I can remember when we had issues on Societe Generale, the same sentiment.
So you see,
So I can understand
but
the
he's also
passion.
part of.
I can understand the passion and then the enthusiasm in this whole matter. In fact, it looks we don't really understand the transaction. That is why we are all talking about this. And I don't have problems when Solo had to use word, but let's remember the case before strike is important. Sometimes when you are on the different planet, you have to be careful.
This business of cases before self-judicate and all of that. Let me tell you.
No, Kwame.
We are not passing judgment.
No, Kwame.
But we have liberty to speak to the facts.
But you see,
because we are speaking to a letter that they have written for public consumption.
Kwame, I'll come
So
to
we
that.
have the liberty to comment on same.
Kwame, I'll come to that.
To snitch.
Please proceed.
I was just a bit
That is being cautious.
that might tell my friend just to be cautious a bit.
But he has not passed judgment.
No, initially was on some allegations about the snake balls, why it was removed. He gave a lot of reasons, which we don't know the reason why he was sacked. And they are good, but I'm just saying that let's also be cautious how we pronounce, make our statements and all that. Let's come to the substantive, the matter before us. Weeks ago, remember, we were talking about the DG resignation.
Yes.
And I was worried. We didn't have any reason why he was removed. We sat here on the same day, and we're finding so many reasons, and today, the chicken have come home to roast. What are we seeing now? Let's come to the main issue here. I have a lot of respect for the MP who raised this issue, Samuel Oku. And I'm equally calling other COS to do the same, finding reasons, providing solutions. And I wish all the MPs and the rest would wake up and do such work for us. I pay SSNIT. And I'm hoping that one day when I retire, I can get value for my money. So I'm equally worried about this scenario. I also have high respect for the MP. And I wish his name is also not mentioned in this, in the hotel. He's done so well. I wish he would have been a different person. But to get involved in this whole matter, I'm a bit worried. Other thing is that I don't have a problem when a company is to sell shares. I have no problem. Shares will be sold on some conditions. Operational efficiency, strategic reasons, and I'll come to the numbers. I also don't have problem when a company is to be sold to a Ghanaian company, not a foreigner. Even the foreigner, fine. But when a company in Ghana decides to show its interest in buying shares of another country, a company, that's fine. Before a company is sold, certain things are taken into consideration. Operational efficiency, the financial performance, all these are very indicated that will help to understand why that company needs to be sold. And when you put 1 plus 2 in terms of synergy, it should not be 13. 1 plus 2, we know it's 2. But if you get 2, we are wrong. Yes. It should be more than 2. To know that, yes, we've had value for bringing these two companies together. As we sit here, I don't know the performance of Rock City.
We don't know their financials.
And the company we have mentioned, we mentioned those companies to be sold. Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm, Royal Beach Resorts, Elmina Beach Resorts, Royal Hotel, is it Buzia Beach Resorts, Trust Lodge, these companies are supposed to be offloaded to another company in terms of their shares. What is worrying this matter? Look at the performance of Labadi Beach. And Kwame, I'm sure you were equally worried when you talked about 2018, company listed, and then 2020. I don't have an idea whether it was part or not. And you've called for the list to be published. And I also want to see the list. Because if that name was not part, why have you been included now? SSNIT, in terms of their shares, they have shares in MTN. And we are told 2022-23, in terms of dividends, paid over 34,000 million to government. I'm making reference to operational efficiency or profitability, which can warrant a sale of shares of any company. MTN paid in terms of dividends to SSNIT. SSNIT, in its own operation, had paid 25 million dividends to government in 2022.
It's a profitable way.
So if you tell me you want to offload or sell the shares to a company, to another, I'm baffled. I'm baffled. One, what are the major implications of this? Concern, conflict of interest. And my colleagues earlier had raised this. We are in an election year. And any issue will sell. Conflict of interest. Public backlash. Look at what we are doing today. We're struggling. That's why my butterfly was in cloud 9. Yes.
Our money is our money. Our money.
Backlash. We'll go through this. But look at the defense of SSNIT. For me, Adabraka, the first reason, financial sustainability issue. A company which pays dividends, how do you arrive at dividends? It's one of taking care of all your costs and the rest, and then the shareholders, yes, take something to cool down, and then take something to. Why would you tell me this? Unless we have different issues that we don't understand. They raise an issue about strategic partnership. In terms of expertise, Rock City against these number of institutions. Check years of operation of Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm, Buzia, Bonsu, and all those things. Then in terms of transparency and due diligence processes, you mentioned that they've gone through all this, fine. But we still have issues that we are talking about here. Let's look at the implication. Already we are talking about impact on unemployment. We don't know if this net company they take over, how many people are going to be laid off.
True.
I don't have an idea. And we should not seem to be adding more to issues that we have already in the country. My issue is on the precedent on future transactions. On this same thing. What happens in the future? Today we don't care about what is happening. The future will have implications. Kwame, I think I...
All right. Well, thank you very much, Honorable, Prof, for that submission. So let me just read. Of course, I like the media press. You see, it's very good. You know, it's in response to Bediatua Blackwell. Point 8. A total of 9 companies responded to the advertisements by submitting proposals on the 23rd of March 2022. My birthday, I will never forget. Deadline. So 6 out of 9 were then shortlisted and issued with request for proposal. The qualifying firms were invited. for the opening of their financial proposals. Based on the technical and financial evaluation, the Rock City emerged the best. Based on the criteria set out in the RFP, Rock City Hotel submitted the best and strongest technical and financial proposal amongst those received. Consequently, it is in the negotiation with SSNIT to buy a 60% stake in each of the 4 hotels: Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Beach Resort, Ridge Royal Hotel, and Elmina Beach Resort. Bids for Buzia Beach Resort and the Trust Lodge were considered to be unsuccessful, so they are no longer part of the hotels covered in the process. So we want to understand why bids. So are you listening to me?
I'm listening.
Why bids for Buzia Beach Resort and the Trust Lodge were considered to be unsuccessful, so they are no longer part of the hotels covered in the process. The process was for the financial management and technical management of the hotels being managed by SSNIT. All of these hotels are part of it. So why is it that the other hotel, being Buzia Beach Resort and the Trust Lodge, are not profitable? For which reason the people who intend to buy 60% shares do not find it profitable, and therefore they will not invest in that. They are running away from that. Because the truth of the matter is that Buzia Beach Hotel is not really a hotel that anybody would want to invest. Even the facility is dilapidated. Trust Lodge, I've not visited there, so I don't know what it is, right? So now, what are what is the criteria, or what are the nuances, that they looked at for the purposes of arriving at a decision that Buzia Beach Resort and Trust Lodge were unsuccessful? I want to understand it. Yeah. Was it based on financial? Was it based on technical? What is it? What is it? Because they have stated to us why the others are being sold. Yeah. So they need to tell us what exactly is it that made the other transactions unsuccessful. So please ponder over this. Then the process of getting a strategic investor is in its final stages and therefore not yet concluded. It was mentioned, okay, so this one is talking about the fact that the petition shrine and things like that. But for me, my interest is why others were considered, why others were not. It's very, very important.
It's a bad deal. Well, you have been told that you have the technical muscle, the financial muscle.
The financial muscle, the technical muscle.
Why are you running away?
Why are you interested in specific ones?
Juicy ones.
Yes, specific ones.
I like that. Yeah, juicy ones. They are running away from the trouble ones.
Yes. All right. I think this one, we'll leave it for the viewers to ponder over it.
You're still waiting for the response.
No, we have to.
I wish whether they will come out to say that's another issue.
It's a bad
because
case.
they have to come out and clarify.
No, we need to understand it, because for me, from what I said, I don't understand why others will be considered and others will not be considered.
You see, it reminds me of, I don't know why we do this to ourselves as a country. I still have a sad feeling about the Jacob Bishop-Lamte case.
Yeah.
And that's states.
Yeah.
You see, it's not that you can't, the courts have ruled that you can buy.
Exactly.
Which I have question marks about. But the court is the court. But why would you do it?
That's it.
I mean, it's like them saying to the people who are the EC that, look, you are spoiling your name. Kodeo says, look, even if the president will withdraw you, you just resign. It doesn't look. We've lost every moral fiber in our system. Yeah. It doesn't look good. Why are we supposed to write a law on everything?
Honorable, the answer that you seek is in a quote by Frederick Bastiat, where he indicates that where plunder becomes the way of life of a particular group of people, they create a legal system that legitimizes it and a moral code that authorizes it.
In summary,
all right. Special prosecutor.
That's a very dangerous document.
Too dangerous.
Domelovo
Too dangerous.
describes plot to remove Ediabing as corruption fighting back. Honorable, let me start here. I intend not to comment on this matter because I think
you did not.
that this is our senior. No. It's our senior, you know. But I think it's misplaced from where I sit. I mean, and I've had the occasion of commenting on it on the couch with Amma Pratt.
When I talked about Shrag, you said, "Oh, we don't need to talk when it before Shrag and all."
No. I didn't.
A senior colleague.
This one, no. This is a mere petition which has been forwarded. So we can actually speak and speak well. But I'm only saying that I do not respectfully, because if you read the Special Prosecutor Act, okay, the Special Prosecutor Act outlines the, you know, sort of gives us
basis for removal.
Yeah, basis for removal of a special prosecutor, which is in section 15(1) of the Act.
That's correct.
And then if you are able to satisfy the criteria in 15(1), then it triggers 15(2). Do you understand? But the 51 that is there, it talks about so many other things. I think it is 1, 2, and then 3 or 4, then A, B, C, or something like that. But all the things that are there, it talks about incompetence. It talks about divulging, you know, or breaking or violating really the oath of secrecy and the oath, and acting in ways which has some economic implications and things like that. I mean, criticizing the judiciary, I think, because the president has ever criticized the judiciary before. I don't find anything wrong with it. If a judgment has been given and you are unhappy about it, you can comment on it, you can lament on it. You may not necessarily insult the judges, but you can say that, oh, as for this one, you think that it's definitely your thoughts. Yeah. But Honorable, you let me come to you. I mean, I have very little to say on this matter. I don't intend to speak any further on this.
In the petition sent by Senior, I think that the strongest point he makes there was the issue on the procurement, potential procurement breaches. I don't have faith in the other items that he listed. I think he listed 6 or 7 items.
6,
yeah. And the last one was the procurement. That will be looked into to see, because we don't even have the detail of whether what is being said occurred or amounts to a breach of procurement. I was a bit saddened by the petition simply because a lot of the things that were mentioned are things that my senior Martin Amdu himself suffered when he was OSP. So I would have rather felt that he should be sympathizing and encouraging the young man and pointing him, if there have even been flaws, find a way to point him in the right direction. Because Martin Aminu's removal was already suspect in its own, in the way in which it was done. And you know his response. We added to our literature Mara Septant of corruption by the time he had left. And that was in reference to the president. So we are clear in our minds that he is not necessarily a favorite of the president, or for this matter, this administration, at the time when he was leaving office. And so it begs the question where if your successor is also going through challenges, most of which actually had to do with staffing. Remember, he said he wasn't funded well. And so if your successor is now in a position to get some money to get some people in, this idea of poaching is, for me, not the way forward. And I think he could have dealt with it in a different way. If he felt so strongly about it, he should have been. And he may have done, I don't know. Try to have a meeting with Kissie Jabing, or even speak to him separately if he felt so strongly about the issues. So it doesn't bode right. Also, since publicly, the points and the frustrations that were raised by Kissie Jabing gained him a lot of sympathy within the court of public opinion. And I know that the court of law is not court of law, but so it doesn't bode well. If you are bringing allegations against him, you must be really on a strong footing. I'm sure at the right time he will respond to the various allegations. And his competence, his abilities are actually, for some of us, not in doubt. He knows his law. In law, we can agree to disagree. That's the whole point of having 2 lawyers in the court. By the time the court case is over, one has lost, one has won. It doesn't have anything to do with your competence. It has a bit to do with how you fought your case, how you put it forward. So people may agree or not disagree. So I have no problem with his competence, ability as a lawyer. I may not agree with some of the issues, just like I won't agree with all the issues that my senior Martin Amido has put forward, but you give them their respect for what they have achieved and what they are, and the legal knowledge they have. Right. So I don't have a problem with either party. All I would say is that I don't think this is the way forward in terms of, it doesn't bode well for the government. What do I mean? One, yes, he has 7 days to send it to the Chief Justice, but I don't think the ink was dry before it got to the Chief Justice. It moves so fast. And when you look at the speed at which others have not moved at all, then you ask yourself, really, I mean, well, it's almost as if I was waiting for it. And no sooner had it arrived that a questionnaire had also now been sent to Kisei Jabing. So it seems simply like a plot to remove the office of the special prosecutor. And that is not good for government, because this was a political tool. It's looking like they didn't expect the office of the special prosecutor to do work. He was just supposed to be a box that is ticked. That we are fighting corruption. We have created the office of the special prosecutor. A lot of mileage was done with the international community on it. The first one comes, he starts asking questions. All of a sudden, he's overstepping his bounds. He's not good. Many of us had questioned the basis upon which it was even created. Because some of us feel that for him to have his power, we feel that there must be constitutional change. Because he's always going to be under the auspices of the Attorney General. So the Attorney General either has to cede his rights or take a stance like with the DPP in London, where he's actually under the minister, but they don't get involved. The DPP is in prosecutions and stands on its own. So they have to have that correlation, and the power that the Attorney General has should never be used when it comes to this thing. But in Ghana, when things are like that, if you don't put it in writing, it never happens. So it needs constitutional change. And that is why people are getting involved in the actions of the office of the special prosecutor.
Thank you. So, I think that this very issue was raised at a time when the bill was in Parliament, that we don't intend to fight corruption. I tend to agree with you to a very large extent when you say that we just wanted to tick the box. But also, Prof, is the reason that prior to the 2016 elections, I think one of the things which the MPP at the time heralded and trumpeted quite unequivocally was that the NDC administration was one that could be characterized and described as being very corrupt. In fact, President Mahama was at the mercy of the ridicule, of the chastising and maligning by the MPP then. You remember the Ford Escapade and all, what's the name of the car? Escapade, eh? Ford Escape and all those matters, right? So one would have expected that the Office of the Special Prosecution would have been given so much autonomy and power to be able to do what is right. And again, I think that the office has sort of realized that the NDC administration was, after all, not so corrupt, but rather this administration is so corrupt. And therefore, even though the office was set up as more like a witch hunting institution, they realized that the witches are themselves in this administration. And therefore, the hunting must begin from this administration. You don't think so? And that is why they are stifling all the efforts, stymieing them so that they can't operate and function fully for the purpose of bringing justice to the good people of Ghana.
You are giving witches and wizards bad name.
It's difficult to answer this question.
No, you should answer.
We'll make an attempt to.
You should answer.
Find a reason for this. In a country, every day we wake up to hear this corruption. If I were to check on the internet, Google word corruption, I don't know the result you get. A lot. And in law, 1 + 1 is not 2. In finance, yes. If we put 1 and 2 together, it's 2. But law is complex. The background to this story: colossal and huge sums of money found in the minister's house. How much was it? I think 1 million.
The dollars was 1 million.
The dollar, and the pound was in 300 and something thousand.
According to this, 1 million. So what was left, we don't know. 1 million was stolen.
And then
More was in the house.
Yes. So we don't have, records of the one that we.
According to the video.
Which for me was worrying when I heard the story from the beginning As a finance person, we'll be calling for financial inclusion all the time. Why should such an amount of money be kept in someone's residence? That's my issue. We've had a lot of battles from courts. A lot of characters have come in. One is who brought that issue? Was it Manasseh Azuri?
Yes.
Yes, initially. Was that SML?
SML is Manasseh. Yeah,
but this one, I'm sure, was a Manasseh.
No, with this one is the media. I mean,
The
they
media.
went to the police and court.
They reported the girl.
Okay.
So the matter went to court, and then they took they broke
case,
the news
okay.
from
Yes.
them.
So you realize there's been back and forth. Went to court, now special prosecutor now jumped in. Yoko, then it's becoming one too many. I don't know when we can have solution to this.
We can change government.
Well, that could be a panacea. It's become one too many. And you know, when the issue is kept for that long, we lose the potency of the case. How many years now since this? We have not had solution to this. We are told that now they want to charge for money laundering. What is the basis for money laundering? When you benefit for illegal activities, that's what I know to be money laundering related issues. It's difficult to talk about this case. And I'm thinking that if he is removed, for me, it undermines public confidence in the institution that we have. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be removed. You know, we are calling for accountability every time. Why should it be removed? Why this letter at this time? Kwame, it's an issue for consideration.
Right.
But I think our court system should be able to have this issue resolved. And if you do politics on corruption, you have to be careful.
Yep.
That's a lesson to our political parties. This issue about corruption, we shall be very careful. If you want to benefit from issue about corruption, you have to be careful when you also come to government. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So, take us away.
So, Martin Amidu was there. He was a former OSP.
The first.
The
first SP.
SP.
And the former.
The first and the former. And he, in his own wisdom, described the current president as the mother serpent of corruption. That corruption, I mean, corruption's campaign. And I was wondering why he would then send a petition to the mother serpent of corruption to do what?
Corruption already is negative.
Negative.
Then you can be the mother of corruption, but then you are separate.
This is Martin Amidu describing the certain president too. And as we speak, the certain president has not rebutted that description. And listen to what his basis for the removal, and that is what freaks me.
You're childish, right?
He says, Kwame is serious, so I don't know why Martin Amidu will do that, but it's serious. He says, one, on encroachment of authority. Two, what do you call it? Procurement. Three, judiciary. Abuse of the judiciary.
Yes.
And that is where I want to end. I won't even go to the rest.
Infringement of citizens' rights.
Right. And so
by detaining Cecilia Dapa and then Professor
Frepo and
there's another one.
Jacqueline, Madam Jacqueline, that's the BT. What is it?
Yeah.
So the abuse of judiciary. Now, under the law, as you are aware, when the petition gets to the president, he or she is supposed to forward it to the Chief Justice. This is an SP who has been accused of having abused the judiciary. And this is the Chief Justice who is the head of the judiciary going to adjudicate on this matter. How do you expect any good thing to come out? Mind you, the last month, there has been a back and forth battle between the Attorney General's office, the Special Prosecutor's office, and Yoko. Do you think this government wants to have Kisi Ajabe in office so that when they leave, Kisi Ajabe will be the one prosecuting them? They want to get rid of him fast. Kisi Ajabe has never been my fan because when he assumed this role, he was talking too much. I said it severally that Kisi, do not be talking too much. Go ahead and do what you are expected to do. He wouldn't listen. So the people have realized that, hey, if we don't clear him fast, he will cause havoc beyond 2025. Obviously, Alan's administration will not get rid of him, but will allow him to do the good job that he was doing. If it was a good job, he will continue with it. So I don't expect Kisi Ajabe to survive. Let me tell you, he will be removed. He will be removed. Procurement breaches. Martin says he has gone to buy cars. In fact, they showed me some of the cars. I don't know whether it's true. Bulletproof, whatever proof. I don't. Oh, special prosecutor, why do you need bulletproof? His life was being threatened there.
3 attempts.
Oh.
They want to eliminate him.
This is 3 attempts. That's why he said that I'm quite more about it.
Or they don't go about for the because you see, this job, these people, if you don't do their bidding, you were sent there to do their bidding, and later on you went and touched the anointed. Cecilia Dapa is the anointed woman of President Akufo-Addo. You saw the letter he wrote back to my dear Cecilia. You went and touched my dear. So you have that issue. It's unfortunate.
All right.
But just like my colleagues have said, when he is removed, it will send a very bad signal. But unfortunately, he will be removed for that bad signal to be sent. And this is where I entreat every Ghanaian to make sure that this new patriotic party and Nana Akufo-Addo's government do not cross the 13% mark. Let us humble them in December. Give them 13%. So that never again would you have a gang of people. These are gangsters who have come to just plunder state resources.
Thank you very much.
The report of the OSP, the initial report, have you read that report?
I haven't.
Okay, maybe you can get it.
You forward it to me then, I'll look at it.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, Solomon Owusu. Solomon Owusu is the president for Lands and Mining Watch Ghana and also a leading member of Movement for Change. Also, Mr. Alexander Segbefia was here and graced the show this morning. Professor Bwedi also graced the show for us this morning. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. And thank you, a big one, to you, the viewers, for spending your morning with us. My name is Kwame Owusu, so it's been an absolute pleasure serving you. I'll see you tomorrow. Do have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for staying tuned. PENDREAM TV really appreciates your time. Please, if today being your first time here, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to keep you tuned to the channel. Like and also share to other members to watch as well. Thank you.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.